What if I told you that the same AI agent with the same prompt can produce either a throwaway test file or a production-grade test suite? The difference is not the prompt, and it is not the model. It actually is the scaffold. Today, I'm going to prove it. I will take a plain Playwright repository, nothing but install just Playwright, and ask an AI agent to write API test for a real endpoint. Then I will run the exact same prompt on my AI-Native Playwright Scaffold, and we will compare the results side by side. Hey, I'm Ivan from RQA. If you have been following the Agentic QA series, you have seen the orchestration pattern and the meta skills that powers my scaffold. Today, we stop talking about architecture and start showing it. This is part one of a two-part live demos. Today, we will compare API tests, and in the next episode, we will compare UI tests. Real code, real application, real API, real results. Here is what we are working with. The API we are testing is the Toolshop API. This is a public REST API at practicesoftwaretesting.com. Specifically, the getBrands endpoint that retrieves all brands. Here is the actual endpoint. It is simple enough that we can focus on how the agent works, not on the complexity of the API itself. We are going to use Cursor for a better visibility and Sonnet 4.6 as the model. We have a fresh directory, just basic npm init playwright at latest. That's it. There is no configuration, no structure, no guidance for the agent. On the other hand, we have my AI-Native Playwright Scaffold. We have the orchestrator, we have 16 different skills, we have folder convention, API client patterns, everything the agent needs to know before it writes a single line. The prompt is on your screen, and this is critical. It's identical for both repos. Next, we will add Open API documentation to the repo. You can find it by clicking on this link. Here is the actual documentation. We'll copy it, and we go here and paste it in the file. We will do the same in the next repository. Now, we have isolated our endpoint. Now it's time to ask the agent to create full API test suite for the brand endpoint. Here is the actual prompt. I'm giving it the base URL and the needed part of the Open API documentation. I'm doing the same for my AI-Native Scaffold. Notice what I'm not saying. I'm not telling it where to put the files. I'm not telling it what patterns to use. I'm not mentioning fixtures or API clients. The agent has to figure that out, and that's where the scaffold makes the difference. Let's start with the demo. The agents are now running. We'll wait for them to complete, and we will go through the outputs separately and then compare them side by side. Both agents are now ready with the task. So let's see what we have. So we have some changes in Playwright config where we have our new project API created. Then we have our brand spec TS with 166 lines of code. We'll go deeper into this in a moment. We have 17 tests that are made. We have status and headers check. We have response body structure, brand file formats, unsupported methods, and request variations. From what I see, we have many tests that can be combined in a single one. Let's see the actual code. So we have our endpoint here as a constant. We have an interface for brand. We have our first test that is checking response status code. Next, we have a test that is checking the JSON content type. The next one is that the response is coming before 2 seconds. For the response body structure, we have a separate describe. We have checked for the array as a response type. We have test that returns a non-empty list of brands. We have a test that each brand has an ID field. We have each brand has a name field. We have another test that each brand has a swag field. We have a test that each brand has no unexpected fields. Our next describe is that swag contains only lowercase letters, numbers, and hyphens. The next one is all brands IDs are unique. The next one is all brand swag are unique. The next one is all brand names are unique. Our next describe is for the unsupported methods. We are checking for 405, method not allowed, and we are actually checking it with delete, with patch. As a request variation, we have that it responds correctly when accept headers is application JSON. We check if the endpoint ignores unknown query parameters and still returns 200. That's it. You see how granularly are these requests. We made a ton of requests that can be put in the same test. Let's see what we have in our AI-native repository. Let's see the real code. So for the app.ts in enums, we have our new endpoint added, not a constant in our test, which means we can later reuse this endpoint. We have our schema. This was created as an interface in a plain playwright repository. Now we have a schema and we have our type from that. Additionally, we have brand list response schema, which is an array from brand schemas. In the util, we have resource not found response schema, we have method not allowed response schema, and we have item not found response schema. All these schemas and respective their types can be reused in the whole test suite. Now, let's check our brand spec TS. What we have here, we have a single describe for get method against brands endpoint. We have one test that is checking if the endpoint returns 200. We are checking if the response body is actually matching our already defined schema. Additionally, we are checking if we don't receive an empty array. We use our API client, that's abstraction of the native API calls in Playwright. We have specified our type of the response body. It must be brands list response. And with a single test, we actually covered the status code, the schema, and that the array is not empty. For the 404, actually, the test is skipped because the agent cannot reproduce it. Since we already have brands in our endpoint, we actually cannot simulate the situation where the endpoint returns empty array. So here is our test, but it is actually skipped and we have our fix me and the whole description that agent put. No known trigger for 404 on get brands. Last but not least, we check our 405 status for an unsupported HTTP method on brands endpoint. We have again our request, we expect the status, and we additionally expect that this method is not allowed. The takeaway is not use my scaffold. The takeaway is the quality of AI-generated code is a function of the context you provide. A better prompt helps a little. A better model also helps a little. But a scaffold that fits the agent, your architecture, your conventions, your patterns, and your guardrails, that change everything. This is what AI native means for me. Not that the code is written by AI, but that the code base is designed so that AI produces the right output by default. You don't need my specific scaffold to get these results. You need three things actually. First is an orchestrator that tells the agent all the rules. Second are skills that hold domain knowledge on demand. Third are the conventions that are machine readable, not just human readable. If your project has these, any AI agent will produce better output. If your project doesn't have these, no amount of prompt engineering will close the gap. Let's make a recap. We took the same prompt and ran it against two repos. The plain one produces working but unstructured tests, the kind you would rewrite before merging. The scaffold, on the other hand, produces tests that fit the architecture, the kind you would review and approve. The difference was not the prompt, it actually was the scaffold. In the next episode, we'll do the same experiment, but with UI tests. Same format, plain repo versus scaffold. If the API comparisons surprised you, wait until you see what happens with page objects, selectors, and navigation flows. If you want the exact scaffold from this demo, the one with 16 skills and 0 config, check the link into the description. If you want to build your own, start with episode 1 of this series for the orchestration pattern and episode 2 for the meta skills. If you like such content, subscribe for weekly test automation content. Please tell me in the comments if you have ever tried to give the same prompt to a plain repository and a structured one, and what was your experience with this. See you in the next one. Cheers.